Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I just get into that song. I have to, when I get so close to the guitar solo part, I have to, I just have to hear it. I really enjoy, I really enjoy that song. So thank you guys for joining me. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and make a comment in the chat. It would be greatly appreciated. So I have I have a little news for you guys today. Uh, let's get started. Okay, so who has heard about the dinner that 4547's Vice President, Attorney General, FBI Chair, uh, what is Susie Wiles, whatever she is in the administration, and Todd Branch, the assistant DOJ director who went to the prison and interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. Uh, have you guys heard that they are putting together a dinner the at JD Vance's house? The demon Vance, the with the witch Pam Bimbo, the crooked-eyed elf uh, Cash Patel, the slithering snake of Todd Branch, and Susie Wow, the buffalo in charge of the administration. Have you guys heard that they were doing a dinner, and the dinner is to decide what they're going to say about this whole Epstein thing? I thought that they said all that they had to say about the Epstein thing. I thought that they said that there was nothing else to see here. I thought that now this was leaked. This has been leaked out to the public. The news broadcast and pundits have been talking about this secret meeting that was supposed to. It was supposed to be a secret meeting, and now it's all over the headlines. It was supposed to happen tonight, but since it has been leaked, they're questioning if they're going to reschedule the meeting now, if the meeting has been put off. They're pretending like now, oh no, what meeting are you talking about? Oh no, we're not having the meeting. So when I first heard about it, it had broken on CNN. And this is, thank God I got some screen grabs because the original story, from what I can tell, is no longer available on CNN. So let's see what the original story was. The original story was, I have to enlarge this because God knows. Okay. Trump officials will discuss Epstein's strategy at Wednesday dinner hosted by Vance. This was the first story that came out, and here's a little context of that story. Let's see what they were planning on. Top Trump administration officials will gather at the vice president's residence Wednesday evening as they continue to weigh whether to publish an audio recording and transcripts of Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's recent conversation with Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The administration handling of the Epstein case, as well as the need to craft uh, un, a unified response, is expected to be a main focus of the dinner. Three sources familiar with the meeting told CNN the meeting will include a White House Chief of Staff, that's what the Buffalo is. Susie Wiles, Vice President J.D. Vance, Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Cash Patel, and Blanche. Blanche is the second in command of the Department of Justice, who physically went down to visit Ghislaine Maxwell, and days later, if not one day, then 2 days later, she was transferred to a a prison camp that is outside of her sentencing guidelines. She was never it was put in her sentencing guidelines that she was never to go to such a camp. She was always supposed to be in a high level secured prison, not a camp. But however, now she has the ability to wake when she wants, to study. Um, to study whatever languages she wants. These are some of the things that are offered there. uh, uh, um, Pet training is one of the things. Oh, let's not forget the tennis and all of the other recreational things. And she can actually do a boot camp with one of the Real Housewives of Utah, Jen Shaw. She has some type of exercise program. Jen Shaw. She was convicted on what about money laundering or some type of white collar crime. Yeah, she can hobnob with the people of wealth that she's accustomed to. So that's who uh, Todd Blanche is. Okay, now let's see. Let's see what else. Let's see what else this story had to say. I just want to familiarize you guys with this. Okay. With the exception of Vance, the White House considers those officials. Wait a minute. I have to enlarge it. With the exception of Vance, the White House considered those officials the leaders of the administration's ongoing strategy. They need a strategy? But I thought that we were going to get the files. I thought the files were on her desk. I thought that she had gave the first set of files to those media influencers who she filled the files with stuff that had already been released a year or two ago. Wait a minute. I thought that she had Cash Patel bring over 1,000 FBI agents to go through the files and delete 45, 47's name and any recognition of him out of these files. But they still need a strategy regarding the Epstein files at this point. Two sources said the meeting comes as Trump administration is considering releasing the contents of Blanche's interview last month with Maxwell. Now, we understand that Maxwell was also convicted of perjury. So, is this going to be a recorded release, kind of like that recorded video of the prison that showed raw footage of the Epstein prison tapes that had close to 3 minutes missing? Is it going to be some more of that? So in total, he met with her 9 hours. Are we going to get 9 hours worth of release? Information of everything she said? Did they cut and splice whatever they're going to release us to 9 hours? I'm just curious. I'm really curious. So is it going to be an unredacted release? So if you're going to release it, what's the discussion? They're also talking about him doing an interview with a serious news person, or who, can you guess who the other or is? Or oh my God, what is this? Joe Rogan. Either a serious sit down interview with a serious newscaster. Can any of us take any of these CBS, ABC series at this point because they have bent the knee to 45, 47? They have agreed to fire Stephen Colbert that Redstone lady could get her deal, her billion dollar sale done with Skydance Media. Can we take them seriously when they told 60 Minutes that they're going to have to start reviewing any stories that they did on 45 and 47, to the point where only they only had three executive producers? Was he a producer? Yes, producers of the show. What the of all the years that 60 Minutes had been shown, they only had one executive producer. He quit his job because they said that they, from now on, they are going to have to approve any stories that they did on 45, 47. Now, I'm pretty sure with him being there that long, that many years, being only the third producer of a show that has been on, I believe, over 40 or 50 years, I'm pretty sure he has been there longer than the people who told him that this is what he was going to have to do. So, are we to even trust them doing the interview? Now, Joe Rogan, we can't forget Joe Rogan, who with a fanboy behind 45, 47, had him at in his a lair and for 3 hours and never asked him one a tough question, a whole fanboy. But now he's coming. He's coming too. But I think there may be something in these Epstein's file. Oh, they're acting real strange. I was, I'm seeing that they're starving the children in Gaza now. Oh, it took him all this time. No, public opinion has turned against these two things. It's not like these podcasters see things different now. They're seeing the same shit that they have been looking at all the time from uh, the 45, 47 saying what he was campaigning on. They saw it then. They saw what he did when he first got in office. They saw what he has been doing since he's been in office. But, they were still supporting him and they were still making little quib jokes and things like that. But now all of a sudden, they're seeing things different. No, you're not seeing anything different. You're afraid of losing your audience. That's what he's seeing that's different. He's seeing that the Midas Touch network, the news networks that actually does the news, has eclipsed him. And he does not want to lose his audience. He see that the people are not going. Okay, so let me. I digress. I digressed. I digressed. It did. Did. Okay. The meeting comes as Trump administration is considering releasing the contents of Blanche's interview last month on Maxwell. Two officials told CNN that the materials could be made public as early as this week. So we have 2 days. They could, I don't know. With this administration, Bondi had the files on her desk and she was reviewing them. That now it doesn't take. We went through the farce of they're going to ask a judge if they can release the grand jury testimony, and the judge said, "Oh no, because you haven't taken the the victims into account." And so they're like, "Oh, see the judge, see what the judge said? Well, we can't do it." Oh, but wouldn't that be one of these activists, a judge who is not allowing them to do what they say they really want to do? When that judge told them to turn that plane around, or if it had was in the air going to El Salvador, didn't the guy who just what is his name? Herman Monster, didn't he tell them you're gonna have to get used to saying fuck the judges? Didn't he continue to let those planes fly? Herman Monster, yeah. What is his name? Uh, Emile Bove. Now all of a sudden it is so imperative what the judges are saying, But let's continue. There have also been internal discussion about Blanche holding a press conference or doing a high-profile interview, possibly with popular podcaster Joe Rogan, according to three people familiar with the discussions. Though those conversations are preliminary, Rogan, who endorsed 45, 47 on the eve of last fall election, has been highly critical of the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein case and previously called for. Oh, I missed something. Previously called for the release of the files. That's what he previously called for. Okay. There have also been internal discussions about Blanche holding a press conference. Oh, I just read that. Wait a minute. Previously called for their uh, ref, refusal release more. Wait a minute. Previously called their refusal release. I think they mean refusal to release more information about Epstein, a line in the stand. So Joe Rogan previously called their refusal to release more information about the Epstein a line in the sand. Not people losing their health care, not what's going on in the streets with these ICE, not this big, beautiful bill. Of course, he wouldn't be against this big, beautiful bill because all the tax benefits go to people in his tax bracket. Okay, let's be real clear. The Department of Justice did not release did not respond to a request for comment for this story. The FBI declined to comment. Patel and Bondi have previously clashed over the administration's Epstein strategy. Did they really have a strategy? Are we going to say they had a strategy? Meanwhile, CNN previously reported that the Justice Department has been digitizing, transcribing, and redacting the interview materials as they weigh something. As they weigh, I don't think I have the rest of that. Let me see. Let me see. Do I have the rest of that? Hold on. I don't know. I guess they mean as they weigh putting them out. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think it is. Okay. So, what do you guys think about that? Let me see what you guys are saying. Haitian Princess, hey Madison, Bernice, grand afternoon, grand evening. Uh, uh, Let me see. How can they explain sending her to Camp Cupcake with all those rich women in exchange for her keeping quiet on what and who she saw getting freaky? And how can they explain it when uh, her sentencing guidelines prohibit her from going to exactly that type of place? Yeah, right. Okay. Uh, Hirogan will say, let me say, anything. He's a big time agent shield. Who are you talking about? Oh, Joe Rogan. Okay. Okay. You're talking about Joe Rogan. Okay. Ho Rogan. Ho Rogan. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so when I went to find this article at CNN, I want to show you the article that I was able to find at CNN. When this story popped, it appears to have popped a lot of people. It appeared to pop all of these: Susie Wiles, J.D. Vance, Pam Bimbo, Cockeyed Patel, and uh, Todd Blanche. Let's not forget that Todd Blanche is right under Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice. It is unusual for him to even go get up out of his office and go interview somebody who's in prison. And so they asked 45, 47, did he hear about uh, the meeting between Maxwell and Blanche? And he said, oh, no, I didn't know anything about it. Now, let's be real. Now, I found out that we know that Blanche was 45, 47 personal attorney. The case that he lost for 45, 47 was the relationship with the porn star Stormy Daniels. This is his own personal lawyer. So he all of a sudden he doesn't know anything about anything that has to do anything with Ghislaine Maxwell. But he knows all the things. He knows more stuff than everybody know about anything that anything could be asked about. He knows everything about it. But I don't know. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know nothing about this. Ain't nobody told me nothing about this. I don't know about this thing that I'm deeply implicated in, and about my friend of 15. I don't know nothing about this. He has no idea about any of this stuff that is going on. So let me share with you the uh, when I went to CNN to get this page, what I did find on CNN page, what are you grounded for, rascal? These dogs are a trip. Let me show you what I did find on CNN. Coincidentally, let me remove this. This is what CNN is highlighting about that story right now. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Vance dinner seems as potential way to clear the air between Bondi and Patel on Epstein scandal. So this is what I found. Now it's about Bondi and Patel mending fences because they were in disagreement. A dinner scheduled Wednesday night at Vice President J.D. Vance residence was seen as an opportunity for the Trump administration officials to realign amid the ongoing Epstein scandal. According to four people familiar with the situation, that would include a potential chance for Attorney General Pam Bimbo and FBI Director CUPCAKE Patel, who have been at odds over the response to clear the air. As of Wednesday afternoon, administration official familiar with the meeting said the dinner was now in flux, giving its intense coverage, and it is unclear whether it will ultimately be called off, moved to another location, or rescheduled. But I thought that you wanted them to iron out their differences. So we had to have a dinner about the Epstein scandal. But now that the media knows, why would it getting out have it in flux? Why would it being reported that there was going to be a meeting? Because you know how dastardly this meeting looks. You know how it looks, that all of you, it looks as if all of you are conspiring to get on one accord about a story. But if you're going to have a meeting with anybody, shouldn't somebody representing the victims in this case also be there? Not Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, who is friends with Todd Blanche, who gave her this cupcake uh, transfer. Not him. Because her attorney and Todd Blanche, the assistant attorney general, were good buddies, and probably are still good buddies. So no, we're not talking about him. I said somebody representing the victims. Of course, the victims are never considered in any of this. The only people who are considered in this is people with money and power. This is your government. Okay, Bondi and Patel, a tense relationship was thrown into the spotlight last month after a contentious White House meeting, which was also leaked. This was also leaked. It seems like they have a leaker who is leaking some good things. After a contentious White House meeting with Chief of Staff Susie Wiles over the handling of the Epstein case. So how did that work out? So y'all bringing Susie Wiles back again? She couldn't figure it out that time. So we know that Kash Patel hold a position prior to being selected as the FBI director with absolutely no background and totally unqualified. We know that his position was that the the prior administrations had been hiding the Epstein files, and they needed to be released because they were part of what the deep state. Okay, so let me see. And he had talked this up, made money off of this on his little podcast. This is one of the things he kept going back to on his podcast that made him millions. And now, as he sit as the FBI director, we have FBI agents going over all of these reams and reams of files about this to uh, mark out possibly one person's name. I don't know if there were more people who the FBI redacted from these files. I don't know because we're talking about money and power. Okay, let me see what else it says. In the hours and days after the blowup, Vance tried to smooth over the conflict. Susie Wild was unsuccessful, and Vance has already been unsuccessful. But now we done fucked up, and we done put this girl in Cupcake, saying that. Why did we put her in Camp Cupcake? Okay. Fielding calls from Bondi and Patel and Bongino in between rides with his family at Disneyland, the vice president achieved his mission. One person familiar with CNN and Bongino went back to work the next Monday, although three administration officials said they believe he will likely eventually leave his post and return to hosting his podcast once the Epstein blowback subsides. So remember, Dan Bongino, he is the second under FBI Director Patel. I cannot believe I am saying that these are the people who are running one of our most sensitive agencies, crime-fighting agencies. Dan Bongino and Cash Patel, two out here pissing a bitch like little wimps over something that they want. Out here having tantrums. Oh, and you must admit that they're not making that all that money that they were making scamming the public as well. It was more lucrative to be able to lie and say whatever you wanted to on your podcast. So, that can't be much fun. Okay. Now, when was the last time have you seen Cash Patel even make a statement since all of this stuff has been brewing? You have not. You have not. When have you seen a scam Bondi? I'm gonna start calling her scam Bondi, not Pam Bondi. I'm gonna start scam Bimbo. There we go. When have you heard seen scam Bimbo out here talking about any of this stuff and when she's going to release this stuff? She called in sick to a CPAC event that she was scheduled to speak at, saying that she had an eye injury. Remember that? She has been incognito. You have not seen her. Okay. Vance is expected to reprise his peacemaker role again Wednesday, sources told CNN. The dinner would be a good opportunity to realign. It's a way to get everyone together in an informal, low-stakes situation, one source briefed on the dinner told CNN. CNN previously reported that Wiles, Bondi Patel, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche were expected to gather at Vance's residence Wednesday evening as the administration weighed whether to publish an auto recording and transcript of Blanche's recent conversation with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. Accomplice that was found guilty. The administration handling of the Epstein case, as well as the need to craft a unified response, was expected to be a main focus on the dinner. Well, why do they need to come together to craft a unified response? Isn't the truth? Wouldn't the truth be a unified response? Why are their responses so ununified? Because they're supposed to be out here working for the people, telling the people the truth. But now they got to come together to figure out what their next play is going to be. Okay. Vance's office denied such a meeting was taking place. Now, there's no meeting like this taking place. As we said publicly, there was never a supposed meeting scheduled at President's residence to discuss Epstein's strategy. Any reporting to the contrary is false, William Martin, Vance's communication director, said in a statement. The Justice Department declined to comment, deferring to the Vice President's office. The FBI did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Despite talks of canceling the dinner, two officials said that it could still take place, though the location may change. So they're not going to, they know that you're going to be staked out seeing if this meeting happens. So start staking them out now. Start staking them out now and see if they all wind up together wherever tonight. But the media is too lazy to do that. We don't have investigative media like we did in the past. The people who were following the people who were complicit in the Watergate scandal was actually on the ground following people. Not for no nefarious reason, to get the story that that Washington didn't want out. Okay. Despite talks of uh, despite talks of canceling the dinner, two officials said that it could still take place, though the location may change. They are arguing. They are arguing the false. They are. They argue the focus. They argue the focus of the meeting would likely be broader than solely discussing the administration's handling of the Epstein case. I doubt that very seriously. The Bondi Patel Bongino food. Okay. Who cares? They're all liars. Okay. Okay. So I don't care about their feud. The link is in my description box. If you do, you can read it. I have it there for you. I could care less about the feud of liars. Do you guys have anything you guys want to comment about that? Yeah, I finally got it. Hey, Sandy. Thank you for being here. Did you see the commissary menu at that camp? Oil of Olay, vitamins, sewing kits, vegan food, hair products, hair dye, sunscreen, lotions. The commissary. No, I did not see it. Tell me more. Tell me more. Yeah, a whole camp cupcake with so they can learn to play instruments. They have a piano there, all of this stuff. They can just walk around the grounds at their leisure or not stay in bed. Remember, they asked her how it was in prison, and she was like, "You have to make your bed a certain way, and you have to be up at a certain time. You're not walking around a prison. You're being led at certain times when they move prisoners." And they are moved the same way, the same times every day. And now she can lay in her bed all day, whatever, whatever. Now uh, there is something else I would like to uh, share with you regarding uh, Todd Blanche allegedly wanting to release the transcripts. Okay, on Maxwell. Now understand, this is Glenn. What is his name? Kirshner. He is with the Midas Touch Network, and he is also an attorney. So he's going to give you the rub on the actual legalese behind the DOJ to release transcript of Ghislaine Maxwell interview.
This transparent attempt to try to fool
Hold
the
on.
gullible continues, and now we're told.
Hold on. I have it on 2 2.0. Let me slow this down a little bit. I apologize. Here we go.
So, friends, this absurd Donald Trump Pam Bondi reality show continues. This transparent attempt to try to fool the gullible continues. And now we're told there is potentially a big reveal coming with headlines that now scream Trump administration considering releasing transcript of DOJ's interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. Why might Donald Trump's DOJ be considering releasing the interview transcript between Donald Trump?
Okay, so this is what I did not hear on any for-profit media. What you're about to hear now, you are not you. I if you've heard this, put a one in the chat because why they are considering releasing these transcripts is because of what she is has alleged about 45, 47, and his not being involved. But this quote seems real quaint, real strange. Uh, the quote that she gives is real strange, and it does not mean okay. So okay, I'll let you hear this.
Former criminal defense attorney Todd Blanche and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, how about this headline? Ghislaine Maxwell told DOJ Trump never did anything concerning around her. And friends, they expect us to believe convicted child sex trafficker and indicted perjurer Ghislaine Maxwell? Let's talk about that because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, Donald Trump and Pam Bondi continue to re-victimize Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's victims with this stupid and transparent game of cover-up they're playing. They're going to urge the American people to believe the word of Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker of children and an indicted perjurer who lied to protect Jeffrey Epstein and to protect herself. Believe her when she says Donald Trump is as pure as the driven snow. Believe her when she refuses to implicate or incriminate the man who holds the keys to her jail cell in his hands in the form of a presidential pardon. Believe her?
Now, why would we believe her? If you remember, I believe it was last week. I played a clip from Katie Fang where she read the actual court transcript and what the judge said about how she sat up there and perjured herself in a self-dealing way to make herself appear less innocent. She lied about her wealth. She basically said that she was living on in someone else's off of someone else's dime, that she didn't have any money to try to hide the I think over her net worth was over 22 million at that time. All of the lying that she did, and the judge called that out. You know what that line was? That was perjury. So we're to believe this statement that he didn't do any of that around her. But see, those words are parsed in a particular way because while Todd Blanche decided to go down there and interview her, he don't know what you think that he went through all of these files and all of this everything before he went down there, or did he go down there and they agreed to agree on a story and the way that she needed to state this in a lawyerly way? Because let's not forget who does know and who would have been the correct person if they wanted to go down and interview her from the DOJ would have been the prosecutor who knows everything all her testimony, all the ins and outs of this case. But that person was unable to go down there to interview her because Pam, what I was going to call her, something Bimbo had fired her. That was James Comey's daughter, who prosecuted this case, who knows the ins and out. And let's not forget that no matter what they come out and say, this woman that they fired from her job and have not disclosed a reason, she still knows the truth. And let's not take it for granted that she has the opportunity to come out and say that's a lie. I worked the case. I know her testimony, and that's a lie. So I'm thinking that this is why this statement was parsed in such a way. So we have heard from the victims of this woman who said that she participated in physically SAing them at the same time where Epstein was SAing them. So we understand she's a pedo. We do understand that, and that's one of the reasons why she's in prison. But let's not we're not going to pretend like she has not been found guilty of perjury, and we're not going to forget that there is someone who really knows the real story. This odd statement that they put out is bullshit. So Jen Kirsch,
Let's start
Jen,
with the new reporting.
okay,
This from ABC News. Headline: Ghislaine Maxwell told DOJ Trump never did anything concerning around her. The Trump administration is considering releasing transcripts of the.
now this doesn't make sense concerning. I don't see anything blacked out. I don't see where this is offset in type. Uh, what is ABC News trying to tell you when telling you absolutely nothing? Do you see how this title is printed? What never did anything concerning, not SA, not something that's black around her. It's concerning what? Concerning making homemade ice cream. Concerning what? Concerning walking his dog. Concerning what? What are we concerning?
Interview with Maxwell. And that article begins. During her 9 hours speaking with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, yes, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, last month, Ghislaine Maxwell said nothing during the interview that would be harmful to President Donald Trump, telling Blanche that Trump had never done anything in her presence that would have caused concern, according to sources familiar with what Maxwell said. The Trump administration, meanwhile, is considering publicly releasing the transcripts from the interview. Multiple sources familiar with the internal discussions told ABC News. Maxwell's meeting with Blanche took place for 9 hours over 2 days. There is also an audio recording of the interview, the sources said, but it's not clear whether the administration plans to release the audio to accompany any public release of the transcript. The public release of the transcripts could come as soon as this week, the sources said. Maxwell, an associate of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, was convicted of sex trafficking and other charges and sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2022, which she was serving at a federal prison in Tallahassee, Florida, until her recent move to a more relaxed federal prison camp in Texas. She is appealing her conviction to the U.S. Supreme Court. ABC previously reported that it was Maxwell who requested the interview with the DOJ, according to sources familiar with the matter. Maxwell is also asking the Supreme Court to review her conviction, and Trump has not ruled out a pardon for her. Okay, friends, let's just run through some main takeaways here. 1, Maxwell asked for the meeting. with DOJ. Do you really think she asked for a meeting in which she intended to incriminate the only person who could pardon her? Who could?
Okay, so that link is in my description box. I just wanted you guys to see that. Now, I also want you to see an interview with one of his victims, Epstein's victims. Uh, the link is in my description box for this one as well. Here we go. Full briefing. Epstein victim blasts any pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell and calls to release the files.
Thank you for coming today.
Okay.
The failure of the criminal justice system to bring Jeffrey, we will forward those details to the press who request them. Unfortunately, no prosecution ever took place. Alicia, Mr. Epstein said that he was a representative of Victoria's Secret.
Okay, this is how she met Epstein in Santa Monica, California. And remember that Epstein lived on the property in Ohio in the guest house, a billionaire living on another billionaire's property, the owner of Victoria's Secret. So he did have a connection where if somebody called to see if he was legit, they were thick as thieves, and he has had no comment about any of the things that has come out with his name in it. He has not tried to refute. He has not tried to make any comments about Jeffrey Epstein. This guy is old. He has to be in his 80s. Old. Okay, let's continue.
And that he was interviewing and auditioning models to appear in the Victoria's Secret catalog. When Alicia realized that Epstein was using his position to touch her in a sexually inappropriate way, she left and reported him to the police. The details of what happened to Alicia in that room with Mr. Epstein were explained at a press conference that Alicia and I held in 2020. We will forward those details to the press who request them. Unfortunately, no prosecution ever took place. Alicia alleges that she would have been willing to testify against Jeffrey Epstein if the criminal case had been filed, but that never happened. Alicia feels that if Epstein had been forced to face the consequences of his criminal behavior at that time, perhaps many other women and children could have been spared from the sexual abuse and sex trafficking that many were forced to suffer. The failure of the criminal justice system to bring Jeffrey Epstein to meaningful justice was repeated in the cases of many other victims over decades after Alicia's experience with him, and resulted in Jeffrey Epstein's misconduct becoming worse and leading to child sexual abuse and trafficking of underage girls. It included his friend and co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction for conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in sexual acts, conspiracy to transport minors to participate in illegal sexual act, transporting a minor to participate in illegal sexual acts, sex trafficking, conspiracy, and sex trafficking of a minor. She was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for her crimes. Now, decades later, the public and many of Epstein and Maxwell's victims are insisting that they want to know how Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were able to get away with their crimes for so many years. They also want to know who else may have enabled them or assisted them in their sexual exploitation and trafficking of women and children. They believe that the answers are in the unreleased files of the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York and the files of the former United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida and the State Attorney's file in Miami. The battle to learn the truth of what really happened by releasing the files is now in the news almost every day. While the political class takes sides in this battle, the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are often ignored, and the toll that this is taking on them emotionally is often just a footnote rather than a focus of many stories. To date, a few of the more than estimated 1,000 victims of Jeffrey Epstein have decided to break their silence concerning what they believe should happen now and the aggravated trauma that they are experiencing because of the constant reporting of Jeffrey Epstein and Ms. Maxwell's names and the allegations against them. We understand and respect the decision of most victims and survivors to remain silent and not become embroiled in the court of public opinion. There are very good reasons not to become involved in what is happening. However, there are also good reasons for victims to break their silence and share with the public their opinions of what should happen next in this battle for truth, transparency, and justice. Decisions being made now by those who have the power to make them, and those decisions are affecting victims' lives and increasing their emotional suffering. Today, Alicia Arden has decided to be one of the survivors who will share her thoughts about some of those decisions. Once again, she is showing her courage by continuing to speak out about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I am sure that more victims will also break their silence in the future. Alicia will now read a statement responding to some of the key questions that reporters have been asking, but she hasn't previously answered them. After she speaks, I will also briefly respond to the question of whether and under what conditions I believe that the interview of Ghislaine Maxwell by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche should be released. In addition, I'll speak to the issue of Congress and its upcoming hearings on Jeffrey Epstein and how it should involve victims in that process. And now it is my honor and pleasure to introduce Alicia Arden.
Look, Heifer, you could have been doing all of that, getting your pages together and drinking your water and scooting your chair over. God damn it, I ain't got all day. I don't mean to victimize the victim further.
The first question that I have is, should the files be released? And I believe, yes, the files should be released. I'm tired of the government saying that they want to release them. So please just do it. And the next question is, should Miss Maxwell be pardoned? No, Ghislaine Maxwell should not be pardoned. She was convicted of sex trafficking of children. This is a terrible crime. Our next question is, did you ever meet Virginia Giuffre? Yes, briefly. Before Miss Maxwell was arrested, there was a meeting in New York with law enforcement, with either the FBI or Homeland Security, and with many other victims. And Virginia and I were there. And I said, "Hi, Virginia. Did you file a police report?" I did, in California. Virginia said, "No, I could not do that. I could not do that. I was around rich and powerful people." And at the same
Now, understand the Virginia she's talking about the Virginia Dufresne, who recently unalived herself this year after this talk start bubbling up to the surface. She has been a outspoken advocate for the victims prior to this, but when this bubbled up to the surface, if you want to go and check out things that she has gone through, I do believe that she is the third person connected with this trial as well, who have been said to have unalived themselves. This is who she's speaking of.
meeting with victims and their attorneys, the law enforcement agent at the podium asked the victims if they had any questions. Virginia asked why Maxwell was still walking around and free. And the agent responded that they were going to find her. And I'm very glad that Virginia, that she asked that question. I'm very glad. And another question is, do you want Miss Maxwell to testify? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if we can even believe her. But I mean, I would like to know what the U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche asked her, and what she actually said to him. And the last question: how do you feel? It's a hard one for me. How do you feel about seeing Jeffrey Epstein in the news every single day and every night, all the time? And the story in the news almost every day and every night. It's very upsetting to me. And I cry with tears like I am now in my living room watching this all the time when I see it on the news every day. Jeffrey's in my brain and I see him again and again. And I remember what he did to me in that hotel room. And I feel pain in my heart for myself and all for the other victims everywhere. And I see it every single day on the news.
Here are a few of my additional comments. Regarding the question of whether or not Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche should release a transcript of the questions he asked of Ghislaine Maxwell and the answers that she gave in his 2-day interview of Ms. Maxwell, I believe that he should release the entire transcript of his more than 9-hour interview with her, including all of his questions and all of her answers. I'm aware that Ghislaine Maxwell, in addition to the other crimes for which she has been convicted, was also indicted on 2 counts of perjury. Ultimately, those charges were dismissed. However, the charges cannot be ignored, and other lies that
I didn't know that the charges were dismissed. I thought that she was convicted on those perjury charges. Forgive my mistake. Let's continue. I will admit when I was wrong. I played the judge's comments about how she was perjuring herself to make herself feel appear that she didn't have as much money as she had, and she was everything she was doing was trying to whitewash her as innocent. Let's continue.
she has told do have an impact on her credibility and are part of the reason that some victims and their lawyers think that she should never have been interviewed. They do not believe whatever her responses were to the questions asked by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. In my opinion, if the transcripts were released, then everything that Ms. Maxwell said in the interview should only be released if they're accompanied by corroboration of her statements and or evidence of inconsistent statements by her and or proof that she lied about some of her statements, if she did. In reference to the planned upcoming hearings in the fall by the House committee, I do believe that there should be a joint hearing by the House committees and the Senate committee. I'm aware that the House subcommittee is issuing subpoenas from many people in the list that they've already developed, including many former attorney generals. I think that they should add to that list former United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alex Acosta. In addition, I think they should subpoena Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Attorney General Pam Bondi. Finally, victims and survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and or Ghislaine Maxwell should be invited to appear before the House and Senate committees to share how they were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein and Ms. Maxwell, the impact on them of these crimes, and how the criminal justice system has helped them or failed them. Victims should not be subpoenaed or compelled in any way to testify, but they should be invited. Some may wish to testify, but they should be invited and not compelled. And some may want to be Anonymous, that is, they would not want their identities known or their faces shown. They should be supported in their request if that is the wish. We need change and new laws to be passed by Congress to better protect victims from the sexual predators. I look forward to sharing my ideas on this subject in the coming days. So finally, in a few moments, I'll take some questions. Alicia will not be taking any questions, but we want to show you this police report. We should also have copies.
Okay, so this is the link is in my description box. I want to refer back to what the let me see the sentencing paperwork said about Maxwell. Here we go. Let me make sure I'm sharing it because this is what I was speaking on earlier.
Maxwell, the defendant, has engaged in a significant pattern of dishonest. It says here, moreover, the record at sentencing makes clear that Ghislaine Maxwell, the defendant, has engaged in a significant pattern of dishonest conduct, which speaks volumes about her character. The defendant's record includes the following. In 2016, the defendant testified under oath in a civil deposition in connection with a lawsuit brought by Virginia Roberts and lied repeatedly during her testimony. For example, she denied, among other things, having given Annie Farmer a massage. As the evidence at trial established, that was a lie. Upon her arrest, the defendant was interviewed by pretrial services and told them that the home she owned in New Hampshire was owned by a corporation and that she was, quote, just able to stay there. That was a lie, as were her statements to pretrial services about her finances. In an order denying the defendant's renewed application for bail, the court remarked on the defendant's lack of candor about her finances and concluded that the defendant had misrepresented key facts to pretrial services and, by extension, the court. On November 1st, 2021, the court allocated the defendant about whether she had engaged in plea discussions with the government. Okay, people, let's focus on this part right here. Although the court's question called for a yes or no answer about plea offers, the defendant elected to volunteer the following, quote, I have not committed any crime. That was a lie. In preparation for sentencing, Maxwell refused to give any information about the circumstances of her marriage. She reported she had almost no assets, which is not true because apparently she had earlier represented she had approximately 22 million in assets. Here it goes. In short, the defendant apparently decides when she wishes to disclose facts to the court, and those facts shift when it serves the defendant's interests. Moreover, even now at sentencing, the defendant has shown no acceptance of responsibility, and her submission fails to even mention, much less accept responsibility for the harm she has caused her victims. Instead, her entire submission is an effort to cast herself as a victim of her father, of
Hey, Tay Babe, to cast herself as a victim, and we have that simpleton on. I played it last week on Now News Network, that right wing network, who has allegations against him about treating women improperly. He actually said, "You know what? I think she's a victim." Okay. Let's continue.
Epstein, of the media, of prosecutors, of the Bureau of Prisons. Folks, I wanted to read that to you because I wanted to make sure that we understood, A, what's at stake today with this meeting between Blanche and Maxwell, and B, why anything that is being said by Maxwell is going to have to be cast under serious doubt. When push comes to shove, as the government has alleged, Maxwell will say what she needs to say to protect her own self-interest. And a woman who has been serving a 20-year federal prison sentence since 20 22, you don't think that she's incentivized to say what she needs to say to curry favor with the federal government that is currently at odds with her relief that she's seeking? That is a government that could give her a one-way ticket the hell out of federal prison? This is important context for the conversation we're about to have right now with Congressman Robert Garcia. He is heading.
Okay, I did not initially have this video up. I just wanted to review it. It is now in my description box. This interview with Robert Garcia. This is before Blanche had even interviewed her. I gave you this information about who exactly she was. Now she wants to portray herself as a victim, and it's Newsmax. Newsmax is the right-wing channel that actually said that, I think she's a victim. So let's hear that. Let me see. Where is this? Here it is, right here. Quickly, shortly thereafter, this is what Newsmax decides to say about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good. But she's in jail, and she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right. Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good, but she's in jail, and she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot.
Okay, I just wanted you let that sink in. There was no rush to judgment. There was a deliberate trial where evidence was given and where a jury found her guilty of the crimes that were charged against her. And now you hear this guy on Newsmax saying he thinks she may have been a victim. Because like everybody else, when the assistant attorney general decides to go down and interview someone who is in prison who may have dirt on our sitting president. Everybody knew that the fix was in. And we would be remiss if we did not say that this assistant attorney general was formerly just this past year 4547's personal attorney. So now they have on the right-wing media, they have figured out a way to try to make you feel that a thing is not a thing, that she may be a victim. Now, how do you think that makes the real victims feel? But okay, let's move on. I don't know if you know that RFK Jr. He has stopped almost a $500 million in research funds for vaccines. You know, he's an anti-vaxxer. He's also said that he stopped this research into mRNA vaccines. That usually attack your respiratory system. He stopped these vaccines, but hey, he said there's coming out. They're studying and coming out with another one that kind of works more naturally. Kind of gives you that herd immunity thing that he so believes in. So I just want to share with you, RFK Jr., your health secretary that 45, 47 has put in office. I know that some people don't believe in the vaccines.
The health department is pulling the plug on $500 million in funding specifically for mRNA vaccine development. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. calling the technology behind current COVID and RSV vaccines, quote, ineffective.
mRNA vaccines don't perform well against viruses that infect the upper respiratory tract. mRNA only codes for a small part of the viral proteins, usually a single antigen. One mutation and the vaccine becomes ineffective.
Scientists and vaccine experts are now coming out against this decision. They say mRNA vaccines are a safe and effective way to fight against rapidly changing infections, and that cutting this research could put people at more risk during public health emergencies.
The health department is pulling the plug on $500 million in funding specifically for mRNA vaccines.
Okay, and then he took a couple of questions. Let me let you hear him take a couple of questions on his position. And here's what we have here. This is your Health and Human Services Secretary. Oh. I'm going to cut it off when it gets to Joe Scarborough and his both sideism, his bowing down as I did not want this for the Joe Scarborough section that comes after this. I just wanted for this.
Illnesses, mRNA vaccines may be very useful, and and that would include cancers. Very useful, and and that would include cancers. But for upper respiratory infections, we canceled 22 trials for upper respiratory infections. But right now, we're developing a universal vaccine at NIH, which is a vaccine that addresses the entire phylum of viruses. And so it's a vaccine that mimics natural immunity, and it is effective against any kind of mutation. So it doesn't drive the virus to mutate. And it could be effective. We believe it's going to be effective against not only coronaviruses, but also flu.
We talked earlier this morning with Jim Vandehei, and I was saying,
Okay, so there you have the anti-vaxxer RFK Jr. Saying that he has, I personally suspect that he will stop the actual vaccine. Hey, the state of being, oh my God, he's going to end some folks, he's going to end some folks. Someone please stop me. Stop him. Stop me. Hey, Miss Queenie, listen. It just really appears to me personally that this administration does want to get rid of a mass amount of people. No matter how you feel, what you think, the fact that approximately 17 million people are going to get cut off of Medicaid, that means a lot of people are going to die. So if you're looking to invest in anything, invest in funeral homes, invest in casket making, invest in digging holes with a tractor. You're gonna get rich here in America. Just let's call a thing a thing. See, what they are not telling you is that these people who are Medicaid, they have primary care physicians. So they are primary care physicians. At least they screen you for different things at different points in your life when they know that these illnesses could be affecting a certain population, your population. At least you get medical screenings. Your once a year physical, they go through all your blood work and all of this type of stuff. Now imagine people who do not have the simple things such as a primary care physician. These urgent care centers, these are not primary care doctors. These emergency rooms that people wait until whatever is bothering them is so unbearable. These are not primary care physicians. These people who have chronic illnesses, they are not going to have a primary care physician to constantly subscribe the medication that keeps their condition in check. So what's going to happen? A lot of people with diabetes, a lot of people with a host of diseases and illnesses are not going to be able to get their medication, and a lot of people are going to die. A lot of people are going to die because they're not going to get the early warning of things that are wrong with them that could in the early stages get checked but don't get checked because they don't have health insurance, and they wait until the last minute and go to an ER where there's nothing else that can be done for what has been suffering they've been suffering with. A lot of people are going to die. See, this is a thing that they're not telling you. They're not telling you the cost of you people who think that, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm not on Medicaid. It does matter because who do you think are going to pay all of these bills of all of these people who have to use emergency rooms as a doctor? Who you think are going to pay all those bills? It's going to be added onto your insurance premiums, your co-pays. You're going to pay for them anyway. All right, so there's my tangent on that. Invest in a funeral. Jay Wilson, the best thing that he could have done was to finish being a mortician. His face is enough to kill a motherfucker. He may as well have finished the course. But I digress. Let me see what else I have. Now, the Texas representative who have left the states, one thing they're not showing you, remember this hearing that they had where they stuck in the gerrymandering of the district. That was supposed to be a hearing about what was wrong with the flood relief. So let me show you two people who one person went to a redistricting meeting, and he spoke truth to the Republicans at this meeting. I hope you enjoy this. Okay, this is a committee. Let me see, what was this? Excuse me. Committee on Congressional Redistricting. This gentleman spoke the whole entire truth. Let me share this with you to the Republicans who was trying to say, "Oh no, we're doing this for this. We're doing it for that reason." Here we go. The link is in my description box. This is a part of Rebel HQ. Here we go.
You have an attorney general who's such a fan of Donald Trump as he's even emulated by cheating on his wife. He was caught cheating on video on the golf course. He cheated on his taxes. He cheated on his business loans. He cheated on his wives. He cheated on the business contractors that he stiffed through 40 years of business. And he tried to cheat in the 2020 election. Now he's trying to cheat and win this 2026 midterm election because he knows he can't win.
You know, this Texas voter clearly is not holding back on Donald Trump and the Republican Party's scheme to unjustly tip the scales in their favor ahead of the 2026 midterms.
If Texas House Republicans bow down to Trump like Abbott did, the other red states will follow. And if they do that, then America will be under assault. To me, House Republicans, in this case, are like a bunch of buzzards on the fence, waiting to swoop down on a dying carcass of democracy. They are telling you that your integrity, your honor, and your duty is for sale. And he is the buyer. And if you obey, you will be rewarded by not being primaried. And if you stand up to him and say no, you will be punished in primary. And it's that diabolical. It's that simple. In other words, and I don't say this lightly, in other words, he's asking each of you to be one, pardon this word, I mean it in a philosophical way, not a sexual way, but he's asking every one of the Republican representatives in this room to be one of his prostitutes.
It truly is that simple, and the smile on the man in the background signals he knows how the game is played too. The quid pro quo of blind loyalty, no matter how much it hurts the people in exchange for political protection, is textbook authoritarianism, just like this redistricting scam is.
And what's happening in Texas is Trump's most tangible plan to rig the 2026 midterms. It would give Texas Republicans nearly 80% of seats in a state where Trump only won 56% of the vote in 2024. And it's really unprecedented because this Texas map is already gerrymandered by Republicans. It already limits Democratic representation. It already limits representation for communities of color. And now that would be much worse. It would be even more skewed. People of color are 60% of the state of Texas, but white people control 65% of the districts. They're trying to pick up seats for Republicans by diluting the power of communities of color in Texas, by dismantling a district held by one Black Democrat, a district held by another Latino Democrat, districts that are supporting other Democrats from communities of color. So a third of Texans are moved around in these maps, but 2/3 of Texans of color are moved around in this maps.
You know, Texas Republicans, they're not.
Okay, I think that's it that I wanted to show you. Oh, yeah, I do want to show you this interview right here. Okay, here we go.
So we're doing something that's completely legal, it's completely constitutional, and I'm doing everything I can in my power as an elected member of the state of Texas to make sure the state of Texas does everything in its power to make sure that Republicans hold on to a majority in the United States Congress. It's as simple as that.
It would be bribery if any lawmaker took money to perform or to refuse to perform an act in the legislature. And the reports are these legislators have been both, they sought money and they offered money to skip the vote, to leave the legislature, to take a legislative act. That would be bribery. And so the facts will have to come out. But I think based upon comments made by legislators themselves, they face a possibility.
Now he's accusing him. He did say it was bribery. He said they sought money. And then he pushed off on it and said if they did that, it would be bribery. Either it is or it isn't. They are falling all over themselves to try to make anything that they're saying make sense.
Facing bribery charges, which is a second-degree felony in the state of Texas.
The sergeant at arms and any officers appointed by her are directed to send for all absentees whose attendance is not excused for the purposes of securing and maintaining their attendance under warrant of arrest if necessary until further order of the House.
Let's be clear. This kind of redistricting should be illegal, period. We need federal protections that guarantee equal representation, not just in theory, but in every vote, every district, every map.
Now, they have admitted that they are only doing this to ensure 2 seats. It's nothing to do with the changes that has happened in their district. You redistrict after a sentence. Excuse me. I'm trying to chew a red hot and it's choking me. You redistrict after a sentence, and you also during that you redistrict if there are some major changes where the people live in these censuses. In the census. So we would be remiss that they have just recently did a redistricting of their maps in 2021, and they drew the map so they would win 3 seats, I believe. And right now, that map is there is a court case against the map that they want to redistrict again. Do you understand me? They're not even waiting for the court case to end in the map that they are currently on for the violations of the I think the Voting Rights Act, the number 2 clause in the Voting Rights Act. This is what they are in court for on the current map. But then they just want to go a little further. Fuck the law. It's legal for us to do it. Okay, and it's legal to be sued for doing it. So I have another clip that I want to show you what they are really supposed to be talking about. They did have some constituents come up and give them hell about why they are ignoring what the committee meeting was initially supposed to be before 47 told Abbott that he needed 5 more seats. So let's hear from the people who are at the meeting and talking about the issues, the flood, and the disaster relief from the flood. Let's see what they have to say about the actual reason the meeting was supposed to be, the session was called.
There and what they've been trying to tell their leaders.
Our warning was screaming down the road. That was our warning.
Our confidence has been shaken by the lack of coordination, chain of command glitches, and time taken to issue a code red, as well as the lack of the warning system and on that was discussed earlier. And what comes to my mind is a word that hasn't been brought up yet, and that is complacency.
The only thing more powerful than the flood has been the outpouring of volunteers and community members who have taken it upon themselves to help us recover. Assistance and prompt guidance from our local government regarding our rebuilding efforts have been non-existent. I have met no local county officials in Hunt or in my neighborhood, nor have I encountered anyone from the state.
All this millions of dollars that come from all over the place getting donated, where in the hell's that going? It ain't going to the volunteers, you know? I mean, where? You know, my God. I've got volunteers. I got the time they showed up and the time they left, and I can't afford to pay them. But they did it out of the kindness of the heart. All that money is going to some politician slush fund somewhere.
The president and the governor sat here in this building promising that we would have every resource that we need to rebuild. And the very next Monday, the first thing our county judge put on the table was an 8% property tax hike.
I'm a volunteer, and like many others, friends, neighbors, and strangers from across the state, we showed up because help was needed. By the time government entities were seen on the scene, we had already recovered bodies, coordinated supply chains, brought in heavy equipment, served hot meals, provided medical care, and tried, often unsuccessfully, to get help across a broken bridge. Volunteers were threatened with arrest for attempting to deliver supplies to areas that needed them.
I do not believe there is a proper structure of who is in charge, and there is no clear indication of what power can be executed by whom. We are all exhausted by trying to figure out who's in charge, and we are all exhausted by the abuse of power.
Through it all, help did not come from official channels. It came from volunteers, contractors, nurses, teachers, business owners, off-duty responders, parents. Regular working class Texans and grassroots organizations stepped in when the system failed.
Those are citizens of Texas. They got a chance to tell their elected leaders what it is that they're not doing, what it is that they have to do. These folks instead to replace them, where there's absolutely zero leadership.
Okay, this link is in my description box, but I would be remiss if I didn't reshare this new link. I shared this, I believe, a week or two ago, I would be remiss if I didn't share this same district, this 45-47 voting district, pissing a bitch because Biden gave them $10 million to actually fix these things that were wrong in their county. And they pissed a bitch, said that it was going to be if the money was taken, they were going to vote the representatives out of office, all of this type of stuff. Politics over protection. This link is in my description box as well. See, now they're talking out of both sides of their mouths. If you didn't remember this, let's go through this again.
Mandates attached to keeping Biden's money. But these people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak. I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
Now, we don't need these funds here. We've done just fine. And we'll get by without them. But you spend this money, you're signing a contract with the devil. And the devil's in the White House.
If you vote to keep Biden's money, I will hold you personally responsible and personally liable.
The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is no part of this administration that has the good of America or Americans at heart. We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government. This is Texas, and Texans can take care of Texas.
And I don't believe we should take the money. We should not have it. I don't trust our federal government. I don't think that they're truthful with us. And in these days and these times or whatever, we can't afford to make a mistake.
We do not want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping.
We don't want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money. They did take that money. They actually did take that money, but they took it on the hush. Since these people came out against them, they took the money on the hush. But did they do what they should have done with the money? No, they spent the money in other ways because, God forbid, we spend the money as if what it was given to us for. You would know we took the money, and you're gonna vote us out. So they took the money. Y'all got what y'all want. Y'all pissed the bitch, and now many of you are finding out who the real devils are. So I guess you trust your government under 45-47. How, as opposed to trusting your government under Biden, how is that working out for you? That's all I wanted to say on that. Let me excuse my wind chimes. They are wind chiming. A nice little summer breeze is blowing, and I am making sure I take advantage of it all. Now, what is it with these Republicans that have, is it a thing with Republicans being just some tyrannical type of men? I want to share you with this. There is a Republican, Corey, I forget his name, Corey something. His girlfriend had to take a restraining order out against him because he said if she dates someone else, he will find whoever it is for the rest of her life. Not the next man after me. Whoever you date, I will stalk them down. So let's hear Miss USA. She is a former Miss USA. She also has some position in the Republican Party. She filed a charge of domestic DV and then would not cooperate, even though she was all bruised up. She came up with some story about, oh, no, that's not what happened. How some DV victims do. Did you hear this story? Let's hear.
Representative Corey Mills. Sullenberger on Representative Corey Mills. We can put this first element up on the screen. Sullenberger has been investigating Mills for quite some time, and this is the first in a series of pieces that we're going to be seeing. This one broke because Miss United States filed a restraining order yesterday against Mills. Now, the backstory here involves a story that you may remember from previously. If you recall, there was a Republican congressman, and it was Mills, who was accused by his live-in girlfriend in Southwest Washington, D.C., of domestic violence. She filed a police report. She later, as often happens in cases like this, recanted, and it was a very convoluted story about how she had bruises, but it wasn't his fault, and on and on. So if you remember that story, the fallout from that in Mills' personal life, according to Lindsay Langston, was that she discovered that he had a girlfriend in Washington, D.C. She was his girlfriend living in Smyrna Beach.
One way to find out.
At the time. She asked Corey Mills about this relationship, and Mills, according to Langston, said, and a lot of this reporting from Sullenberger is based on text messages and videos that he sent to her. So we don't just have to go by her word here. By the way, she is a Florida Republican state committee woman, as well as being the reigning Miss USA. He told her the news made the whole thing up, that he never had a girlfriend there, that this was a completely fabricated event. Not just that he.
So is this a thing with the Republicans, abuse of women and lying? Let's continue. I'm just asking a question.
Didn't hit her, but that the whole thing doesn't exist. She then, not being a moron, finds a bunch of social media posts with this woman and him. She's like, okay, like this is clearly, it seems to be the case. This happened. Like you're lying here. So then they break up, and that's where it gets really bad. And Corey Mills sends her, an intense number of threats, which she then reported to the police. So there's a police report that she filed in July, followed by this restraining order. And according to the police report and according to Rogers' reporting, she shared text messages of all of these threats, threatening her, threatening anybody that she may date in the future. If you want the sort of details, I recommend you go read the drop site piece. Mm-hmm. But I think what you'll come away with, and what I came away with from it, was I understood Corey Mills to be quite something, to put it delicately. Mm-hmm. I was stunned.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's beyond what your baseline assumed level of crazy.
Well, on top of all of what you just explained, Corey Mills, it should be noted, was at least previously seen as a real up-and-coming star among
like
members
of
right, Republican House of Representative, the conference. He was seen as like
the party of family values. So let's continue.
A big deal, somebody who would have a big future in Republican politics, and so this is a fairly significant.
The Christian-loving Republican Party. Let's continue.
Development, because I think a lot of the buzz around him since Sullenberger started doing his reporting on Mills has dissipated. This has been a saga that's played out over months now with the reporting. But Ryan, the other thing that's worth mentioning is, I believe, the girlfriend who filed and retracted her comments,
right,
or who made and then retracted her comments about being abused, is Iranian American, right, and works with an Iranian activist group. Mills is an arms dealer, right? He's also not fully divested. If I'm remembering this correctly, he's not fully divested from his defense contracting work.
Right. No, not at all.
Okay.
Yes, he's still heavily invested in arms dealing.
So on top of this being clearly an affair, and I think the abuse allegations being very credible, though she did retract them. I mean, I've covered a lot of cases like this. I can't say for sure what happened. It looks to me more likely than not that they're accurate, but of course can't say that because can't say that with certainty because she's taken them away.
Right. She said she got the bruises days earlier. Or someone fell at the airport, or like just stuff that wasn't even trying to be credible.
Right. It didn't check out. So, and again, she may genuinely just be sincerely dedicated to the cause that she's advocating for. But when you put all of these different parts together, with him being a defense contractor, member of Congress who's not divested from that business, being in this ostensibly two-timing relationship with somebody who works for an Iranian American activist group, those things are likely not a coincidence. There's something happening behind the scenes.
And in the restraining order, she says like after she blocked him all over the place on Instagram, blocked his number. He would call from the Capitol. It's presumably it was him calling from the Capitol. She didn't pick up the phone, but she showed a screenshot of the call from the Capitol. He would create new Instagram accounts to message her with these various threats.
Maybe he got some cues from that new fella who was over in the B sector talking all of this disrespectful stuff, and now crying rivers and showing screen messages and all of that. Maybe he should maybe this new fella should take a page from his book and create new accounts to contact. Oh, well, I heard that they are in chats under many troll pages. I digress. Let's continue.
And Roger has also spoken with a number of three other former romantic partners who shared anecdotes very similar to the ones that have been public, which, like I said, family program, we don't need to get into any of it now.
So you mean to tell me all of his exes have had this problem out of him? The link is in my description box. Let's move forward. Isn't it funny that the party of family values and these Bible thumpers seem to be like this under this administration? And if you did not forget this, now, they're saying that there's a lot of misogyny in this administration. That is allegedly one of Marjorie Taylor Greene's complaints, that she has done everything, stood herself up, wore 45-47 hat to formal what is that? Address, State of the Union addresses, all of this type of foolery that she has done, and being a member of the House, she has received no rewards for her tomfoolery. However, there has been a watershed of unqualified people who have never worked in government, who have attained high cabinet posts, and that could be why she is saying that that is an air of misogyny in this administration. But why? I thought everybody know that this was going to happen. Why is she surprised? Did she not hear this the day after Harris lost her election bid? This is someone who dined with 45-47. Did she not know about this? How could she not know about this?
The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control. Feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what?
Okay, so this is the celebration of winning the election. Did you have any hope? This is when he was still drinking 45, 47 Kool-Aid. He felt that comfortable coming out. But now, since they will not release the Epstein file, he is cursing 45, 47 out at a fast clip. Let me see if I can find him now. Let me see. I have shown you two of them so far. He blasts him for admitting he lost the 2020 election. Let me see. I don't want to show that one. Fuentes turns on Trump. There are quite a few of them. Let me see. A big crybaby he is. Let me see if this one is.
And now he says, if you're not on board with
when 45, 47 was trying to make excuses behind the Epstein files and said that if you don't go with what he says, he doesn't need your support.
And now he says, if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. You are not funny. You are not as smart as you think you are. You are, and honestly, and if you watch my show, you know I've been very critical. I've never been this far. This just goes to show this entire thing has been a scam. When we look back on the history of populism in America, we are going to look back on the MAGA movement as the biggest scam in American history. And the liberals were right. The MAGA supporters were had. They were. And now he says, if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you.
Okay, so that is I'm surprised there is such misogyny. Hey, Vibrant Love, thank you for joining us. And this is one last thing that I want to share with you. This is Jasmine Crockett. They had the Congress people from Texas to come and talk about this gerrymandering of the districts. And if you're unclear about what is really going on, I want to play maybe 2 points here. Here we go.
Have to say, but we are going to make y'all listen as long as you will. This map does nothing but divide, distract, and depress. There is this idea that was put out there during his opening remarks that this does so much for Black folk. Well, let me tell you, as a Black person, it does not. Let me tell you that in this map, to be clear, y'all added two additional Anglo majority seats. Now, when we went through the 21 maps, you added 2 Anglo majority seats, and now you're adding 2 more Anglo majority seats. And then you've decided that you are going to pack and crack, and that is the language that I am going to use because that is the legal language. And I also just want to remind y'all really quickly that it does not look good when you take every economic engine out of my district and then tell me that I am supposed to sit here and be so happy because you added Black folk from a whole other community. When you want to talk about monoliths and whether or not they exist, this idea that you just take people and move them around. I have 200,000 people who were never in my district, and my district is 766,000. Playing move minorities around so that you can somehow claim that this is nothing but partisanship. The only way that you get here is by making sure that you trample upon the rights and the liberties and the voices of minorities. So let me give you a few facts about the state of Texas. The state of Texas only has 39% Anglos, yet somehow under this map, we are going to have somewhere near 60 something, almost 70% of these seats are going to be chosen by Anglos. If we were looking for fairness and to follow the Voting Rights Act, you'd have 15 Latino opportunity seats, 15 Anglo seats. You then have 4 African-American opportunity seats. Then you'd have 2 Asian opportunity seats, and the other 2 seats would belong to coalitions because we are a majority minority state where over 60% of this population is people of color. So if you want to do what's fair and right under the Voting Rights Act, as well as if you say that this Fifth Circuit Court case matters and somehow changes everything, my question to you is, when are y'all gonna do y'all's maps? Because you did your maps in 2021 and then the case came out and I haven't seen y'all talk about the fact that you're gonna redistrict the House and the Senate.
And you have questions? You okay, Representative Turner, recognize the question of the panel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Questions for Congresswoman Crockett.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. You mentioned in your testimony that this proposal, House Bill 4, removes economic engines from Congressional District 30.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. So Dallas Love Airport has historically been in District 30 maybe since it was created, which was also in 1990. It is gone now. All of downtown Dallas, which has AT&T headquarters, Goldman Sachs is there, and a number of others, entirety of downtown has been removed as well. As well as right there, this isn't necessarily one of the economic engines, but right there at the airport is a historic freedmen's town. And so I do have a number of freedmen's towns in general that are in my district. They removed that one that is right there by the airport. And they also removed, no, that's the only one that they removed. From what I can tell, I've not had a great opportunity to review these maps. It's been slow. And then they also removed the medical center. And what is so heartbreaking specifically about them removing the medical center from this district is that one of the 3 ARPA-H facilities that was authorized under the previous administration, the state of Texas is the only Republican state to get one, and I got it to come to my district. We're talking about tons of jobs. We're talking about a lot of money overall for medical research, and they removed that as well. As of now, I am unclear as to what economic engines really do still exist within the current iteration of my district.
Okay, so let me go a little further. There is someone else that she's answering questions for that I want to hit on. I do believe it is this guy right here. Yes, it is.
From that decision. And I also want to say that I was present.
Next question.
So they're saying something about the Supreme Court rule, and he's asking her about this.
We had Representative Spiller.
The state Supreme Court's rule.
Ask question, panel.
For Congresswoman Crockett, if you don't mind, thank you for being here today. You referenced in your testimony a few things about the Voting Rights Act, Section 2 in particular. You talked about the Petaway case, talked about coalition districts, the subject of the Petaway case, and you sound like you're pretty involved in litigation relating to redistricting. Have you, you're an attorney, have you read the Petaway case?
I have not read the Petaway case, but I am familiar-ish with it.
Okay. You understand that, I mean, you don't dispute that it's the law currently in the state of Texas?
I won't dispute that the Fifth Circuit has entered the decision. I will dispute that the Supreme Court has affirmed that decision. And I also want to say that I was present while the bill author talked about his interpretation of Petaway, and I disagree with his interpretation. In fact, he basically said this means that we can tear apart coalition districts, and that's not what it said. The Petaway decision stands for the position that you don't necessarily have to create new districts that are coalition districts, but not that the current coalition districts should not enjoy the protections under the Voting Rights Act. And what we're seeing here is that you are intentionally destroying coalition districts because of a misinterpretation of a Fifth Circuit court opinion that, in my opinion, is also going to lead, because of the amount of minorities that we've talked about that have been moved around, because the Voting Rights Act itself stands for minorities having a voice, and we are in a majority minority state. I think that just like every single time Texas has gone to court, they have lost for being intentionally racially discriminatory. I believe that there will be no difference this time. You will be found to be intentionally racially discriminatory. I will tell you that this administration could care less. This administration just doesn't want to check, especially if it means people that are loud and proud like me have the ability to do a check on this administration for their last 2 years.
And that's your analysis of the opinion that you've not yet read.
Correct. I've not read the opinion, but I've
Well,
definitely read summaries of it.
When you do read the opinion, which I would encourage you to do, if you'll look to page 17, it talks about one of the reasons that the court ruled the way that it did had to do with statutory construction. And it strictly construed Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act and referenced the fact that Congress has been silent. Congress has not amended that or addressed that and addressed coalition districts under the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. So
he thought he got it. Did you make any did you try to push forward in this arena? Y'all just sitting up there. You are in Congress. How come you ain't doing nothing, girl? That's why they made the decision. Let's continue.
my question to you as a member of Congress, since the ruling in Petaway a year ago, have you filed any amendment to the Voting Rights Act that would allow you and allow the Voting Rights Act to be amended to provide for coalition districts?
Well, let me tell you something. As it relates to the Voting Rights Act, I have always signed on to and believe that we should pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which would replace the entirety of the Voting Rights Act, as well as the Freedom to Vote Act, which would actually make sure that we could get some of this money out that allowed a presidency to be bought. So to be clear, when we left the last time when I was serving in the State House, we left because we wanted Congress to pass those two bills then. And since I've been a member of Congress, I have signed on. So do I have a fix? Absolutely. We need to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, Advancement Act. And you know who doesn't want to sign on? People from your party. Right. So, I mean, I can't do nothing in the minority, but if I could wave a magic wand, or if you'd like to call some of my Republican colleagues on the federal level and tell them that they should do right, like historically Republicans have, because it has always been bipartisan to reauthorize the Voting Rights Act. And we know that a Republican governor from the state of Texas, it was a Bush that reauthorized it last time. And when I say bipartisan, I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about passing with like 99 people. So listen, we are ready. We just need people that believe in fairness and freedom in this country to sign up and agree with us, and we will get this done. We will fix all the problems.
And I think my question is after the Petaway ruling a year ago, have you since that time filed any legislation to amend Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act to address the coalition district concerns that you raise? And I think that your answer is no.
The answer is that I have signed on to the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, which would resolve all of these issues.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move forward. One more. Right here.
Representative Pearson, you recognize the question of panel.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is for Congresswoman Crockett. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts on the map. I hear you, I understand. But you did mention something in your testimony that I think is worth drawing out a little bit on. You mentioned previously the two Anglo seats from before.
Yes.
Who are currently in those seats?
One of them is Lloyd Doggett and the other one is Wesley Hunt.
And does that mean one is a Democrat seat and one is a Republican seat?
Correct.
Okay. So the Democrat seat elected a white man.
Yes.
And the Republican seat elected a black man.
Yes.
Okay. And then so today you're concerned about the new Anglo seats, and the assumption that you're making is that it's going to lead to more Anglo representation.
It is.
Okay.
Because so to be clear, because I may have not been clear, these seats are not about who gets elected. They're about who gets to choose who is elected. And so, my district, while it is an African American opportunity seat, it is an opportunity for African Americans to choose their representation. But they don't have to elect a Black person.
And if you split up all the African American districts and to put a small amount of voters in a particular district that don't share the commonality, don't have the life experiences, the needs that the district that you have separated them from, is your representative going to represent the needs that you have? You have been split apart from a district that serve your needs and your interests. So usually you're not always, but you just heard that a Democrat district voted a white man in. It's who is addressing my needs. It's not that he's white that he was voted in, because he campaigned on doing things that address my needs in my Black district, in this district built up of mostly Black people. So do you think that a representative is going to overlook the overwhelming amount of people that they have in their district to address the 10 or 20 families that they pulled out of another district? No, your needs are not going to be met by your representation. That's the problem. But Christina Pearson, she think that she got a gotcha moment. But no, bitch, it's a plain and simple, bitch.
And we have a similar seat in Memphis, Tennessee, that historically was always represented by the Ford family. Harold Ford Sr. and Harold Ford Jr. had it, but now it is a white man that is representing that Black seat. So it's not about the faces of the seats. It's about who gets to choose who's in the seat. And that doesn't mean that they're going to choose their own race. As you see, 2 Anglo majority seats, one went for a white candidate, one went for a Black candidate. It's not about us as candidates. It's about the people that get to do the choosing.
Well, I would argue that based on the testimony that we've heard over the last week or so, it's both. We're hearing racism all over the place. We're hearing, people want to choose people who look like them, which apparently has been happening. And I just wanted to make it clear that, something that has not been said yet is that there are minority Republicans. I mean, there is a Black and Hispanic Republican on the dais. And so I just don't think it's fair to just assume that the Anglo districts are going to lead to more Anglo representation.
Again,
those were your words, so I'm just
I apologize if that is how it was interpreted, but my clarification is that when we're talking about the law and the Voting Rights Act, it's never been based upon who it is that gets elected. It's based upon who it is that gets to choose who is elected. And unfortunately, adding 2 more Anglo seats in a state that added, if we're going on the census that came out in 2021, there were only 180,000 new Anglos to this state. So the idea that we would take the bodies of Black, brown, and Asian, 95% of what allowed this state to garner 2 new seats, and basically use their bodies for the benefit of making sure that a shrinking majority continue to hold on to power is wild. Because when we look at the numbers, this is just to clarify. In the last 3 censuses, in 2000, Anglos were 52.43% of the state of Texas. In 2010, Anglos were 45.33% of the state of Texas. In 2020, Anglos ended up being found to be 39.75%. At the same time that Anglo percentages were going down, somehow their seats and their ability to elect more representation to DC goes up at the same time that Latinos back in 2000, 31.99% of the state. Then it went to 37.62 in 2010, and then it went to 39.26 in 2020. Yet somehow they still don't have the ability to elect representatives of their choice, whoever they elect. It may be, you know what? We can talk about Lloyd Doggett. Lloyd Doggett, for the longest, was representing a seat. There was a Latino opportunity seat. They chose Lloyd Doggett. That's fine. We just want people of color to be able to choose their representation so that we can comply with the Voting Rights Act as well as the 15th Amendment of the Constitution. That is it. And who they decide to elect is who they decide to elect. And in addition to this state being in trouble in previous court litigation, they have found that when this state legislature has said, oh, well, we'll add these minorities over here. Well, again, when you start shifting people around, they found historically, I want to say it was around the 2010 redistricting, that what Texas did is they decided to add basically low propensity Latinos in one of the districts. So that again,
people who they knew were not going to go out and vote. Let's get these people who we know are not showing up to vote, and let's put them in this district and make it seem like they are being represented.
And that district would not be Latinos being able to elect their representation because they took people that they knew had a low propensity to show up.
And so on that note, with these new lines, political performance was taken in consideration.
That is what we've heard from the bill author, yes.
And in previous hearings, I mentioned specifically that in the state of Texas, President Trump did win a majority of the Hispanic voters in the state. And just to broaden that even further, I mean, those are the numbers. President Trump did win the majority of the Hispanic votes in the state. In fact, he flipped, I believe it was 10 counties in the state. So don't you think that is reflective of this map, this proposed map, that the minorities who are here with the new minority districts that have been created, it is reflective?
No, Representative, I don't. Again, okay. It's just based upon, I mean, this is just pure math. Like, I'm not trying to pick who is going to vote for who, because as it was stated earlier, the idea that anybody is a monolith is wild anyway, right? Because first of all, Latinos down at the border, they are not the same as Latinos, say, in the DFW or in Harris County. Like, so I don't want to pretend as if any minority group is a monolith, which is one of the reasons that we talk about communities of common interest, because we work together and we function together and we do things a little differently. I mean, I'm sure there are even Black folk in Houston that will argue that they're not the same as Dallas Black people, right? So it's an ongoing thing. But nevertheless, what I will say is that is why you shouldn't just be grabbing up people from wherever and saying, oh, well, they all the same race. It is bigger than that. It is trying to make sure, and you brought up compactness earlier. And so compactness is one of those things that you consider as well, because again, it is different. When you look at a state the size of Texas, you know how many states you can fit in our state, right? So thinking about it in that way, a reflective map would look like the fact that only 39% of this state is Anglo. So how in the heck do we have 60% of the seats that go to DC are going to be decided by Anglos? That's the math that doesn't work. We need to flip the numbers so that people of color, no matter who they vote for, if they decide they're voting for Trump, and you're right, because of the 13 democratically elected seats in the state of Texas, one of those seats was a majority white seat. That's it. Everybody else, it was people of color that sent us to DC. But when we look at the Republicans, of the 25 seats, 23 of those seats are Anglo majority seats. 2 of those seats, Latinos are the ones that chose. And I don't have a beef with that. Like, that's who they elected, and that is perfectly fine. So they have 2 Anglo seats that are Republican. 2 Latino opportunity seats that elected Republicans. That is perfectly fine. People vote for who they vote for, but don't divide our communities and dilute our voices. And that's why we're here, because we feel like we're being diluted because we're packing Black folk, or the bill author mentioned that there's some district that went up to over 70-something% Latino. That is packing. You don't need almost 80% Latinos for that district to perform as a Latino opportunity seat.
And so,
okay, so that is, I just wanted to be clear on what the argument was prior to them leaving the state of Texas and deciding not to have a quorum. So that's all that I have. Hey, Liz, if you learned anything new today, please help support the channel. Help support the channel. $ Ronnie Q. Uh, oh, okay. I see a new story. ICE tackles a Latino citizen for filming raid. Now faces a $1 million lawsuit. That is since ICE is so flush with money. I'm pretty sure that there will be many of those coming. So uh, let me see. Don't forget. Uh, Prepare yourself for your safety, your food safety, uh, the safety of yourself and your family. And if you want to invest in this 4547 economy after this big, beautiful bill, you may want to invest in anything funeral or burial related. Okay, so hate to be so grim, but I'm trying to make you some money. There is money in everything. Thank you, Miss Queenie. I appreciate you and your support. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys for coming out. Please hit the like button on your way out. Avail yourself to some of the links that I have added to my description box. Go over and check these channels out. They have great information. There are so many stories that are being dropped by, not dropped as in presented, dropped as in ignored by our for-profit media. Uh, you know, that's all I have for today. I'll save that for tomorrow. I hope you guys have a blessed remainder of your evening. And thank you for joining me. All right, I'm out of here. Bye bye. Hey, Tista. Thank you, Tisa. Bye, Tanya McNeil and Mother. I hope your mother's watching, Tanya.